Hello again, Michael Friedrich here from beautiful North Carolina, and today I have a new soap and a brush for review. The soap for today is the El Caballero from Oleo Soapworks out of Chicago. I previously reviewed the pucker, which was the tallow-based version. This is the vegan recipe. Interestingly enough, the shea butter actually appears before the coconut oil in the ingredient list, so that gives you something to look forward to. Let me show what it looks like in the container. Beautiful color, slight silky sheen to it. Scheme of things, a pretty soft soap. The scent on this is described as a bay rum, bergamot, basil, and a white patchouli with some musk and amber mixed in. And for me, it's mostly kind of a sweet mix of the musk and the amber, maybe a touch of the patchouli in there. I don't really get a big bay rum hit. I don't get a basil or bergamot really, but for me, kind of a lightly sweet musk and amber seems to sort of dominate in the scent for me. Still a very pleasant scent. Let me show you what I have pressed into the Captain's Choice loading bowl. I had scooped out more than I really realized at the time, but so plenty left for today's shave, and I mean plenty left for today's shave. I'm going to be using another one of the Yaqi brushes. Today I'm going to be using the Badger brush. So they sent some Badger brushes as well, 2 silver tips and a best, I believe. I'm going to be using the silver tip in the black marble handle. So you can see there, it does have logo on the bottom. I will show you what the other one looks like now. So this is the knot when it's already been used and bloomed a couple times. This is their Galaxy knot, which is a very cool looking material actually. Looks like specks of mica and just a really nice mix, but I'm going to go for the black one because last week I used the white one. We'll just trade off the color scheme there. So just to compare, this is the unused knot and this has been used for a week. You can just see how nicely that knot has opened and how much it has bloomed. For today, I'm going to be using my birth year Gillette Slim Adjustable. I'm going to start off on 7, and I hope you can see that. Start off on 7, dial it down 7, 5, and 3 for the with the grain across and against. Today's blade was a gift. It was the Timor, and I didn't even realize I had these because I'd received this along with a Fatta Testina Gentile, which included a pack of blades. I thought they were all the Bolzano, but it turns out it's a mix of Bolzano and the Timor, and I don't think I'd ever tried these before. So that was a very pleasant surprise. All right, without further ado, let's go get my face wet, get lathering, and get the shave going. Yeah, so I had previously reviewed the Oleo Soapworks stuff, which was the pucker and the tallow-based, which my son was visiting over Christmas, and he has taken that home with him. I think like a lot of people likes citrus scents and that lime scent and the pucker. Beautiful, just a sharp, clean, crisp scent. This is a much warmer, slightly sweet, warmer scent. The vegan recipe. Now, I'm going to go for a relatively dry brush, and then I'll just add water as needed. I like their tallow soap a lot. It was really kind of a surprise. Sort of came out of nowhere for me. And this has been no slouch either. This has been very, very easy to work with. Just beautiful lather, smooth and creamy, easy to work with. As you can see, dry brush, and that's what you get. So you know from that, you need to add more water. I just want to show you that I am pressing down with firm gentleness or gentle firmness into the brush. I'm not crushing it in there. There we go. That's already starting to form a bit of a paste. All right, I'm going to keep adding some drips of water. The brush, by the way, has been a real joy to use as well. It seems like a very traditional, slightly wider handle. Very easy to hold. The silver tip knot is opened up and has been both very soft on the face, but also has a good amount of density. It splays easily, so it doesn't have any kind of overly stiff backbone. It's not scritchy on the face at all. I was actually really surprised at just how nice it was. All right, I think that is got to be plenty. You can see what's in the bowl. That's already starting to get a little bit slick inside the container, so that's the brush fully loaded. Just drip a bit of water onto the face of the brush as always. Wet my face again. And let's start the lather going. Yeah, the brush, as you can see, splays very easily. It is not scrubby or squishy at all. Beautiful soft tips. A fair amount of backbone. It does not collapse when you move it side to side. It's not one of those overly floppy badger hair brushes. It just doesn't have enough density to really hold up. Scent strength on the soap is, I would say, sort of in the middle. Not very strong, but definitely there. I think it fades a bit during the shave, but I'm still getting, some good wafts of a nice warm, sort of musk and amber. As always, 2 days of growth. That's almost ready. That needs a touch of water just to make it, bring it up to the right level of slickness. There we go. All right. Enough lathering. Time to load the blade. Yeah, so we'll start with the razor on setting number 7 for the width of grain. I did actually this week try the start off mild and move up. That didn't really work so hot for me. Starting off in a mild setting for that first pass, no, just somehow felt wrong. If you've watched any of my previous videos with this razor, you'll know that while it does work for me, it is an okay razor. Definitely not one of my favorites. Nostalgia factor does count for quite a bit though. And these blades have not been super good for me. They're sharp, but not in a sharp way. It's a little rough. That's what I think what it comes down to. Now, I know that for some people these blades seem to work very well, but it's another German blade, and I had very similar experience with the Mercure blades. Very similar feel in some ways. Soap is really, really nice. Nice mix. Slickness and protection there. It's not overly dense or too fatty. When you rinse it, you get a good sense of slickness, but it doesn't feel like it's leaving a lot of soap behind. All right, let me just drip a bit of water back into the brush. We'll lather up for pass number 2. I'm going to dial the razor back down to 5. I have actually shaved once with this razor on setting 1, and that is really incredibly mild. It's so mild that it feels in some ways like it's not really doing anything, but in fact it is actually shaving. Yeah, very nice face feel to this soap. A nice level of slickness. Feels light and creamy on the face, not overly heavy. All right, pass number 2. Let me just, I'm gonna dial this down from 7 to 5. There you go. And that blade feels much better at the less aggressive settings. Yeah, I've always said this razor is good, but not great for me. On the other hand, you know, it's 55 years old, still works like a champ. Kind of hard to argue with. I do sometimes wonder, where is this thing going to end up in 55 years from now? Hopefully there's somebody still able to use it. Five is a very nice, comfortable setting on this razor. Really easy to use, but for me it just feels a little, this is going to sound odd, but it's lacking a bit of refinement, so it always feels a little bit workmanlike. Which makes sense because of course it is getting the job done, and that's really all that it really needs to do. But in comparison to many of the other razors I have, which I think just have a bit finer control and a better face feel. All right, rinse off. I'm going to see how much we get out of the brush for pass number 3, the against the grain. If I need to, I will of course just load more out of the bowl because I have plenty from the weekly scoop. I know what I was thinking. I just scooped way more than I normally do. Yeah, let me just dip the tips. I'm going to load a little bit more out of the bowl. The nice thing about this brush is that it is soft enough that even in the third pass, if you want to go and be a bit more vigorous, like with last week with the synthetic, I've not had, sorry for all the clanking, not really had any issue with brush burn or friction. Yeah, really enjoying these brushes. Actually, the handles are easy to hold. They come in a variety of materials and styles. I think the knot selection is certainly very good, certainly on the synthetic side. The first Badger of theirs that I've used, and really been very happy with it. Really nice density to the knot. Very soft on the face. But no scritch, none of that sort of like overly scrubby stiffness. Very nice. Okay, pass number 3. I'm going to dial this back down again. There we go. Down to, that's going to be for setting number 3. So this is going to be pretty mild. And this is also the pass where I feel like this, whatever it is about this head design, is where it just works the least for me. Very nice slickness out of the soap. There we go. Just being quiet there for a moment because this is one of the parts where I find it very easy to overdo. Something about the feel of the razor, just, I don't know, I tend to overdo it, overshave, or maybe a bit too much pressure. And it just doesn't really feel that good on the face right there. Now 3 is a very mild setting, so with a soap that is as slick as this, it makes buffing very easy to do. There's a bit of overhang on the razor head, but not much. Enough that you shouldn't ignore it, but not enough to really be worried about it. There we go. All right, let's see how it's going. Yeah, the soap, which is beautiful and slick. When you're rinsing it, you can really get a feel for just, very, very nice. No, having reloaded the brush now when I'm rinsing it, definitely a bit harder to get off. You can feel like a kind of a persistent, slightly slick, dense layer. That's good. All right, one more. Yeah, still overall very nice shave. Not comfortable, but still close. All right, let's towel off. Post shave in the soap is also really good, and that may well be because the amount of shave butter. I think there's also cocoa butter in the soap. Post shave, very nice. A nice thin light layer, what feels like some good post shave skin conditioning. No tightness. Yeah, very nice, very nice. All right, well, we're going to end that shave with. Oh, and it's getting close to being gone as well. This is the Le Grand Chypre from Barrister and Mann. This is the cypress, oak moss, labdanum, rose, and frankincense. This is a very dense and kind of a heady scent. The cap insert just fell right into the sink. A dense, heady scent, very long lasting, and pretty intense. So if you, for example, work someplace where you can't wear strong scents, then you 100% need to avoid this. I really, really like this scent. It has this beautiful, kind of dark, heavy rose to it. The citrus is in there. It's kind of a light overtone, but for me, it's just a beautiful rose base. The frankincense, maybe a slight kind of a woodsy, spicy scent to it, but for me, it's really the mix of the heavy rose and the kind of the citrus note through it. Just, beautiful. And as an aftershave, it is not a moisturizing aftershave as such at all. It's really meant to be kind of a skin conditioning and toning aftershave. It has witch hazel and alcohol. I think it also includes, if I'm not mistaken, was calendula and matricaria and chamomile. So I think we're focused on sort of the skin conditioning and skin toning, not on the moisturizing. But man, beautiful aftershave. Beautiful scent, beautiful. All right, well, that is it for today. That was a pretty good shave. Even though that razor is really not my favorite, still fun to use. All right, let's run through the products that we've used for today. Let's do a quick recap. Oleo Soapworks, El Caballero. This is, at least for me, kind of a warm, woodsy, musky amber scent. A little bit sweet. It includes for scent notes things like bergamot, bay rum, basil, patchouli. Those don't really come out of the mix for me, but still, in the scheme of things, a very nice scent. It is a vegan recipe, lathers easily, very nice slick soap, easy to work with, lathers quickly. You can see just good protection overall. Very, very nice. Today's brush, you can still see how much lather is still in there now, having reloaded, is from Yaqi. This is the silvertip brush in the black marble handle. I believe this is a 24mm knot. Wonderful mix, just a nice balance of density, backbone. It still splays easily, very nice soft tips, and as you can see, in comparison to the one that I've not used yet, you can see just how much those knots do tend to open up. I've really enjoyed using that so far, and quite a pleasant surprise that they were included in the mix of brushes to review. So far, thumbs up on those as well. The razor for today, well, quite nostalgic. It's exactly as old as I am, better preserved obviously than I am. The Gillete, slim adjustable. A really nice razor in the sense that it gives you a lot of options because it is adjustable. There's just something about this particular head design that for me is always a little bit rough and a little uncomfortable. Really not my favorite razor, but I'm going to obviously hold on to it because it has a particular nostalgia factor and it is a birthier razor. And then finally, as you just saw, Le Grand Chypre from Barrister and Mann. This is another one of these, just a fantastic mix of alcohol, witch hazel, some skin toning ingredients, but the scent is really what makes this a particular standout. The scent is just rich and kind of alive and dense and just, yeah, I just really, really like it. Quite long lasting in the scheme of things compared to many other aftershave splashes. So if that's a problem for you, then that may be one to skip. But if you like to have something that's more on the cologne side than just an aftershave that will dissipate quickly, Le Grand Chypre and any of the other ones from Barrister Man would probably be a very good choice. Well, that looks pretty good, people. Pretty good. 2 days of growth gone. Skin feels pretty good. I smell fantastic. I'm going to stop it right there. Just want to say thank you again so much for watching. I want to say thank you again for all the time you're putting into, for example, putting in the comments. Of course, keep adding them. Comments or questions against this video or any previous video, please just keep going. I really appreciate the time you're taking to do that. And until next time, goodbye.